With the draft only days away, I know I am probably super late talking about the draft right now, but right before Roger Goodell steps on that podium, I want to make a quick episode talking about a guy in particular that I'm really hoping New England can snag on day 3, or possibly as an undrafted rookie. He's a guy I've been looking into since the end of college football, and is a guy that is likely going to go unnoticed heading into the draft. But if New England can pick him up in the 7th round, then we may just have one of the next great Patriots receivers on our hand. A guy who's really everything that embodies a Patriots receiver, or one over the past decade really. Tough, gritty, reliable on most occasions, and most importantly, smart. Slade Bolden is the guy, if you can guess, I'm talking about, and holy crap does he remind me of a certain receiver, or really a certain group of receivers that have played for the Patriots. A guy that is likely going to go unnoticed because of his below average size, speed, and explosiveness, but he can give you all the fundamentals. He can confidently go over the middle of the field, take hits if needed. He can beat you in zone, though not so much in man-to-man as I've seen. And even with the limited amount of production in Alabama, though this is justifiable when you have to sit behind Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, John Mechie, and Jameson Williams, he still seems like a guy that I think New England should look into. Now, obviously, a guy like Slade Bolden is going to come with his limitations. Otherwise, forget Garrett Wilson, forget Jameson Williams. You might as well draft Slade Bolden as your top receiver in the draft. But one of the clear limitations that you can see with Slade Bolden is really his physical attributes. He ran a 4.63 at the 40, which was one of the worst, if not the worst, times for a receiver in this year's combine, and he isn't exactly big, standing at 5'11 and weighing only 193 pounds. And so there's a reason why he's projected to be drafted in the 7th round. He is not a guy that's been gifted physically, and again, that's one of his clear limitations. But when you look at other guys like Danny Amendola, Jules, Wes Welker even, these guys were also not exactly very much physically gifted either, but they were still effective. Now, like I said earlier, Slade Bolden has had the unfortunate opportunity to play behind a lot of great receivers at Alabama. I mean, you've got Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, John Mechie, Jameson Williams. There's a reason why he hasn't got a lot of production back in Alabama, and this does show in his stats. I mean, if you look at his totals last year, only 408 yards and 3 touchdowns, and there is no wonder why scouts and analysts believe that he's a 7th round, potentially even an undrafted rookie. But obviously, stats and production are not the main story, and when you look at Slade Bolden, he's a guy that is very dependable. He's got good hands. He's dependable over the middle. He's a guy that can take hits. Again, like I said, he can beat zone coverage. He's a guy that can really do everything that you want him to do, specifically on 3rd down. I mean, think about what Edelman or Danny Amendola was to Tom Brady, maybe in the red zone, maybe on clutch 3rd down situations, guys that you could use in the short to medium passing game. And these guys were perfect in that role. And so think about someone like Slade Bolden, who basically fits that mold and that role that really was so valuable for the Patriots for all these past couple years. And imagine what Slade Bolden could bring to Mac Jones, a guy that he can depend on. Now, don't get me wrong. New England has enough receivers right now. We've got Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne. But imagine if you had a guy like Slade Bolden who could beat zone coverage and get open in those clutch situations as against guys like Jakobi Meyers. Now, Jakobi Meyers has been that guy for Mac Jones. He's been his reliable target, and he has done fairly well in that role. But one thing that Slade Bolden does have on his side is his connection with Mac Jones, his former college roommate and teammate at the University of Alabama. And these two are definitely close. I mean, during his press conference during the Combine, Slade Bolden had this to say about Mac Jones. He's a different guy, but in a good way. He's fun, he's goofy, he's fun to be around. You see him all the time at the Pro Bowl and how he's acting. That's how he's always been. And even on Mac Jones' Instagram, you see him every now and then talking about Slade Bolden on one of his stories, posting a clip or a video of him. I mean, these two definitely seem like they're good friends, and so imagine if they're both on the same team. There's no need to waste time on trying to gel with each other. Mac Jones and Slade Bolden are already very good friends, and they already have a positive relationship. And so I could see that transpiring on the football field, maybe in clutch situations, on 3rd down, when Mac Jones needs his go-to guy. Slade Bolden could be there, and they've already got that trust already. Now, New England also could use a guy on special teams, and that's also something that Bolden provides as well. And especially to make a roster in the NFL, I mean, he's probably going to start on special teams. And, with Matthew Slater likely entering his final year in the NFL, then I think that Slade Bolden could potentially be his replacement, and then from there work up to that slot receiver role. Now, with his speed, his size, and athleticism, while they don't stick out, they should not be a reason why New England stays away from him. He's gritty, he's fearless, but most importantly, he's just happy to get the ball. New England may have Mac Jones as go-to guy if they pick up Slade, and especially in the 7th or possibly an undrafted rookie, I take him every single day, especially with the kind of value he provides at the wide receiver position going forward, but then also in his special teams role right now. He's not going to wow you with what he does on the field, but when New England needs that one guy to really step up and make a clutch play, I think Slade Bolden could be the guy going forward that Mac Jones trusts with his reliable hands, with his ability to just get open when he needs to and make that clutch play, that clutch catch. But either way, thank you guys so much for listening. I am really looking forward to this draft. I think it's going to be a real interesting one, especially that first round, because honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who's going to go first overall. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys later in another episode. Peace out.